This is Carlos Ghosn, who was once among the most powerful and well-respected executives in the automotive industry. In 2019, he fled to Lebanon to get away from the Japanese justice system, which denied him due process. Carlos's background is remarkably diverse. He was born in Brazil to Lebanese parents and was educated in Lebanon and France and went to work for Michelin, the famous tires business. He then went on to become the vice president and CEO of Renault, chairman and CEO of Nissan, and chairman and CEO of the Renault-Nissan Alliance. He also briefly served as chairman of Mitsubishi after the struggling automaker was brought under Renault and Nissan's global umbrella. In 2005, he was the first person to head two Fortune 500 companies at once, Renault and Nissan. Carlos's career earned him a reputation as a man who could rebuild businesses in even the direst financial conditions. He worked his magic at both Renault and Nissan, dramatically cutting costs and transforming the close to bankrupt corporations into profitable units. He was nicknamed as the low-cost cutter and Mr. Fix-It. And now comes the interesting part. According to Japanese authorities, Carlos conspired with Nissan's North American board member Greg Kelly to underrepresent his annual compensation by as much as half over the course of 5 years, allegedly looting $90 million in unreported income. He was also accused of misappropriating millions more from company funds to purchase and renovate personal properties around the globe, which were then used as off-the-books retreats for Carlos and other executives who were in his good books. He was stripped of his CEO title, arrested, released, arrested again, released again, and then put to house arrest after he paid $9 million in bail money. His reputation left the shareholders of all the three companies in distress, and this was evident in the 2019 decline in share prices, where all three shares fell by more than 20% each. And now comes a more interesting part: his escape. Two private agents were hired to rescue him from Japan. They smuggled him inside an electronic box in a private Turkish jet to Istanbul and then later to Beirut. Carlos knew that Lebanon has no treaty with Japan, so he will not be extradited, and also he was respected like a hero in the country. Revenue and profits for Nissan are falling in markets around the world. Sales in the United States, its most crucial market after China, fell 10% in 2019, a staggering decline at a time when auto sales are at near record levels. A lot of analysts believe that it's Carlos's tarnished reputation which has hurt the business most, and Carlos himself has been blaming his successor Hiroto Saikawa for the company's problems. But I beg to differ and believe it was his poor decision making which has led to this. To achieve higher sales and market share targets, he kept pushing lower margin products, damaging the bottom line. Perhaps he created a temporary situation that looked good for a while, but it was artificial and it is costing the business millions in losses now. And for car dealers, it meant higher and unrealistic targets. For customers, they felt cheated. So if I buy a car for a 50 grand and you buy the same 10% cheaper in promotion, this would irritate me. If there must be a turnaround, then it has to be quick and innovative. So all eyes will be on the Nissan's electric car coming out soon, Ariya. Some questions for my viewers to think. Number 1. Did the Nissan and the Renault alliance turn sour because of Carlos, or was it sour even before? The share price for Renault started to fall 8 months before Carlos's arrest. Number 2. If Nissan was more profitable than Renault, Then why did the French company have an upper hand in the affairs of the board? Why was there no balance of power at the board level? The French company had 43% stake in Nissan, whereas the Japanese shareholders had only 15% stake in return in Renault. And finally, number 3, who is behind Carlos's escape? Who orchestrated this Hollywood themed run from Japan to Istanbul and then Beirut? So if you've enjoyed this video, then make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are close to hitting 2000 subscribers. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.